Today's painting is Indian corn, and I'm thinking about this type of corn called glass gem. It's really pretty, has so many different colors, and kind of ranges from yellow, the kernels are like yellows and whites and purple and kind of like a bluish purple. You can Google it. Glass gem is what it's called. So I left this red in my tray from yesterday, and I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna leave this red. This was kind of red mixed with brown. I'm gonna just add a little bit more brown to it. And the key, I think, to doing this well is gonna be mixing enough of each color so I don't have to mix more, because that way the colors will stay kind of true. So kind of a brownish red, and then I'm gonna make this red into a purple. So I'm re-wetting it, leave all of that red in there. And I'm gonna use this, it's kind of like a purplish, dark purplish blue. I'm gonna mix it with a clean brush. I think that'll be enough. Nope, need more. I'm trying not to use very much water because I don't want these paints to be very thin for these darker colors. I want them to be, I don't want to have to go over them again. Okay, there's kind of a purple. I want something that's more of a blue, almost a grayish blue. So that's gonna have to be a little bit watery to make it, get a tiny bit of black. And I'm gonna try a little bit of white. Have I reminded you lately to push pause when you need to? I pause when I watch watercolor videos or pretty much any instructional video. I'm pausing it all the time and rewinding and listening again and trying again. So if I haven't reminded you lately, consider this your reminder. Okay, I want a little more black, and then I think, let's see, is that too gray now? A little more blue. It's a weird color that I'm aiming for here. I want it much more on the blue side than the black side, but it's got kind of a gray tinge to it. A little more blue, and then I'm gonna try that. Okay, so blue, gray, purple. Need a good yellow. And for the yellow, I want mostly yellow, a little bit of orange mixed into it, and then I'm gonna use it and water it down for the lighter colors, the more translucent looking ones, because some of them really do look like glass. And I'd say probably half of these kernels are gonna end up being yellow. So I'm gonna put a lot in there. Okay, and now add a little drop of orange to that. Yeah, that's good. And then got red. I'm gonna do something that's mostly white with a little yellow added to it. So it's gonna be really pale. And I'll just pull this yellow over if I can. Get in there. I'll get a little more. Kind of looks like milky yellow, if that's a thing. I think that's it. I'm gonna just get a little bit of orange ready. Kind of a lighter orange for back here. With a tiny bit of white. Yeah. Okay, so I drew with my pencil down here. I'm just doing one end of a corn cob. So can you see this? So here's the end, kind of like the stalk end, and it's gonna have a couple kernels. You know, there's some stragglers down at the end. And then there's a row right here, and that's kind of the top curve where you can only see a little bit. And then another row, a wider row. These two are about the same because we're looking straight at them. This one's a little narrower down here, and then there's another one at the bottom that's pretty small because we're only looking at it at just the edges of the kernels. And then I'm gonna try and kind of stagger where they end. Over here, it'll be kind of curved. Try not to use my pencil much because I don't love pencil lines left behind, but it doesn't really matter. And there'll just be a few kernels, little ones over here to kind of bridge the gap between these and the stem. And that's it. And I'm just gonna start with a small brush, and I'm just gonna put in some of this main yellow color. Just gonna start making some kernels, and then I'll fill in as I go. But I'm gonna do the big ones first in this middle row. So they're kind of curved, kind of rounded. I'll do one right here. I don't want there to be a big section of any one color. So I'm gonna try and stagger them a little bit. They're kind of a squared off oval. And they're not all the same size. These are some are kind of squished between others. And some are gonna have a little bit of white left where the light is hitting them. So I'm trying to remember to do that too. They usually get smaller as they get closer to the stem, and they're pretty big in the middle. So just kind of think about that as you're putting them in. Oops. I'm gonna switch and do, I'm gonna try a little of this blue. Let's see how this works. don't want it to bleed. So I have to space them out a little. That's fine. I think I want this to be a little, this red is too thin. Might take a couple layers of this red to be as dark as I want, but I guess that's okay. Got a bleeder. So the yellow's not dry enough. I think the only way to do these colors is to take breaks between. I have a little thing that's kind of like a hairdryer that I use to dry things quick in between layers. So I think I'll go to use that and dry this off real quick. So I can move on. And I guess I'll have to do that between colors. So if you have a hairdryer, that works great. Just don't get so close to the paper that it kind of blasts the paint away. You have to start pretty far away and you can watch it dry. And as it's getting closer and closer to being fully dry, then you can get a little closer to it. If you get too close, it also will warp the paper, which is a bummer. The way to fix that is with an iron. So I'm going to go dry it, and I'm gonna come back and add in more colors, and then I'll record another part 2 and we'll move on.